When you think about the greats in radio, Harvey Holiday is one of them, and he was best friends with Butter, and you guys go back so many years with so many great, music and memories, and we appreciate you calling in. We're still trying to wrap ourselves around this with him not being here, but if you could just share your thoughts and memories of Butter.
Well, it's a life that should be celebrated. I want to send my condolences to Cynthia and the kids and the grandkids, and we both, he was an Italian kid from South Philly, and I was a Jewish kid from the north at West Oak Lane, and we both had the same dream, and that was to work at that great radio station that you're on. And somehow, I don't know how, but we both achieved it. And of course, he got there before I got there, and he was still there after I left. But not only a great radio personality, and I've been listening to music people, but just a people person, a person who I think Louise Williams said it, who just loved everybody. Sometimes I would follow him, and I'd like to work alone. He'd have 50 people in the studio. It would take an hour to clear the room out. He just loved having people around him, and I know that we're all sad today, and like I say, I'm heartbroken. I just can't think about radio and music and the whole thing without Butter. I called him Joey, by the way, and we never had a problem, because whenever we would get into a discussion and I thought he was getting mad, he would take his hand. I don't know if you ever noticed this. He would take his hand and start rubbing his beard. And when he did that, I knew it was time for me to go. I said, "You're right, Joey." I said, "You're right, Joey. I'm out of here." But he had a dream. We both had a dream as kids. And, and two white guys end up at WDAS. How did we do that, And we were so accepted and so loved. And like I said, he was there longer than me. And you just never heard a bad word about him. That's all. My heart is broken, And he was a tough kid from South Philly. And I know I went to visit him in the hospital a few times. And I just thought that he was going to make it, because like I say, he was just a tough kid, but such a warm human being. And whenever I would see him, I would request, like people request records, I would request stories. And not only would his stories make me laugh, they would make me cry. That's how funny they were. And I would ask them every time I saw him, and let me say this, it's like the best kind of friendship you can have. I may not see him for a year, but when I saw him, it's like we saw each other the day before. We just picked up. We never lost a beat. He was just a good friend, just a good person.
Well, I got to tell you, Harvey, he treasured your friendship. He shared so many stories with me of your friendship, and would just smile when they would say your name.
I appreciate that. Last time I was at his house, Cynthia said to me, a lot of people said, do Harvey and Butter get along? Because there's a lot of disc jockeys who don't get along, if you know what I mean. He would always say to people, of course they get along. Why wouldn't they? We never had a problem, He did his thing, I did mine. We did things together. But we would go to here's a quick one. We would go to one restaurant for the appetizer. We would go to another restaurant for the dinner, and we would go somewhere else to get dessert. Not only did he know music, but he picked the hits, but he knew the best places to get the food.
He sure did. He knew food. That man knew food. I always tell people, I said, I instantly gained 15 pounds when I first signed on here at DAS, because it's like, we're going to go get something to eat.
Let me say that even though we're sad and my heart is broken, and I started crying on the radio today, that at the end of the day, though, you have to celebrate the life of a man who had a dream when he was a kid. His dream came true. He had a wonderful family. He was loved. I mean, as sad as it is, celebrate the life of Joe Butterball Tamburro, because every dream he had came true.
Harvey Holiday, thank you. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love everybody there.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Look at the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Hey, here's a 90-day rule email. Hi, Steve. I have a question about the 90-day rule. I've been dating someone long distance for about 3 months now. When we are finally able to see each other, it will be a total of 6 months. So how would the intimacy rule apply?
It's time to get naked now, man. 120 days, dog. You just want to get in front of each other and just keep talking? We've been talking.
Check out the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Weekdays from 6 till 10 a.m. on 105.3 WDAS.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby.
That's a walking. Oh, for you some of our songs. We've been waiting for so long. We want to play for you some of our songs. I bet you by God if you do. Princess Station is the name of our group. WDAS is what we listen to. So lay on back and hear us play and sing, 'cause we're really gonna do our thing. WDAS FM.
The great DJs of our time. Dr. Perry Johnson is joining us as we remember Butter. What was it like for you, Perry, when you first had a chance to, meet him, when he put you on the air?
Wow, I go back even further than that, Patty, listening to Butterball. He was just such an amazing guy to listen to, He had such a rhythm, such a soul about him that was just so compelling, so demanding for you to listen to wait for him to come on, so that even when I was, younger, listening to radio and enjoying my favorite disc jockeys, he was definitely one of them that I look forward to. So it was a great deal of excitement and pleasure to meet him, and then to be able to work alongside of him was just phenomenal. Of course, he was my program director, and always was a tremendous friend, and had good advice for me, always jovial, always helpful, always concerned about my well-being and the things that I was considering doing. Always gave me great support.
That's one of the things that really stood out, and it's like a recurring theme as we talked to a lot of people about Butter. He cared about us.
He really did, and he had great insight into people, and probably that is something that is under-recognized about him. He had a special feeling for people that made him able to relate soulfully. I remember when I came back to Philadelphia for the book tour just a few years back, and I did his program at the Hop, as he called it, the nightclub one Saturday night, and just the way people related to him, and he related to them one to one so personally. It was just very, very remarkable. I said, Butter, you've got something really, really special that attracts people to you, and I can see why you've been successful all of the years, because you got so much love. And he certainly did. It's really hard to digest that he's no longer with us, but we know that he's moved on, passed on to a better place, because he certainly believed in God.
Dr. Perry Johnson, thank you for calling. Thank you for the great memories that you have given us, because we certainly appreciate it. And
Patty, one thing I know for sure, he certainly loved you. He took you under his wing, and he really developed you into a remarkable personality. So you are a testament, too, as to how great he has been to so many of us. So,
and he has.
So you continue on as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you.
Truly the soul of Philadelphia, Butter. We will miss you. It's 105.3 WDAS.
As I go see Smith this afternoon as we remember and celebrate the life of Butter. We're hearing from a lot of colleagues, people that worked here, people that he knew, touched, and helped in the radio business. One of the things that stood out in our history of WDAS was our exemplary news department, and Butter was truly behind it. E. Stephen Collins is joining us, and what was it like when Butter first put you on the air?
Patty, I'm completely devastated to hear this sad news about my good friend and mentor and coach, and just a great personal friend in Butterball's passing. My very first day on the air at DAS, I did my first almost tryout newscast on Butter's show, and he made a joke to let me relax. And from that day, 22 years later, when I left to come over across the street here, Butter remained a solid encourager of everything I ever tried to do. And I think about all the unity days and all the elections of key people in Philadelphia and all the community work that Butterball did, and his generosity and encouragement. So I just join with all the others who have called you to say today we'll miss him, rest in peace, and to Cynthia and his children and his grandchildren, our deepest heartfelt condolences on a man who impacted us in a way, musically, rhythmatically, socially, politically, that few others will ever have the chance to do. He was a genuine star in the heavens of our lives for so long. And I'm just sorry today that he is now passed on.
It is. He will be missed, but I can tell you one thing. He loved you.
He did
love
you.
He
did.
Daddy, I called him Christmas time, and I just said, "Hey, man, I'm just checking on you. How you doing? And I love you." And he said, "Hey, I love you too." And I just so happy that I had that moment, Patty, to say to him how I felt about him, because I really did. And he was a special guy, and all of us are just mourning. We're all going to go, but Butter's a guy like a family member. You know, you just don't want to ever say goodbye. Really,
you don't. Mimi's on here with me, and we thank you.
I wanted just to say something to you, A. Do you remember, we pretty much started it around the first time, and around the same time. And for one thing for sure, Butter never held you back from your growth. No matter whether you wanted to be in the news department or go into promotions or to go into sales, he never stopped you from growing to become, bigger and to grow further into the industry. That one is for sure.
Mimi, I'll never forget the encouragement. While he would talk to Barry White or the Jacksons or Joe Jackson or you name it, Phyllis Hyman and Patti LaBelle, so many artists that came through those doors that were encouraged and supported in his just down-to-earth, and after everything, let's go up to D'Alessandro's and get a cheesesteak, or let's go somewhere and just enjoy great times. I have nothing but great memories of him and you all, and our great time together there, and the great things that radio station, through his leadership, on so many levels, did to make us stronger as African Americans here in Philadelphia. I'll never forget the contributions that he made, and just the encouragement, like you said to me, to be there for us. Special guy.
Thank you so much, E. We remember,
you're
welcome. As we remember Butter through song.